Peter Charles here of Hooked Fly Fly Fishing, and today let's just deal with a simple subject, gripping the rod. I see a lot of people have a death grip on the rod. I can actually see their knuckles are white from because how tightly they grip the rod. And generally that is a bad idea on a whole bunch of levels. You cause a lot of problems simply by death gripping the rod. Even if it's just moderately tight, you're not smooth when you're casting. So first off, let's look at a bit of video of a couple of my casts where my grip is quite loose. And you can see that I'm not death gripping the rod to get a decent cast. So here I'm just making a simple cast. You notice my hand was open as I released. So let's step through it slowly. And I'm cradling here. I'm not really got a tight grip. You can see my pinky is not really, and my bottom two fingers are not really on the grip that on the rod grip that tightly. Now only when I'm making the stop do I actually have much of a grip. And then as soon as I release the line, my hands are open and relaxed. So my hands are relaxed through most of the casting stroke. They're really only, the top hand really only sort of clamps down a little bit at the hard stop. So look here, you can see that my top hand is open. I'm cradling the rod like this. So I'm really holding on just with my fingertips. And my thumb is barely touching the blank. And there are many, many benefits from this. One of the biggest benefit, or I should say two biggest benefits, is first off, you'll find it much easier to cast slowly because when we tightly grip a rod, we tend to rush. And that's an instinctive thing. You got hold of something, you're rushing. And the other thing is smoothness. This is an experiment you can try at home. Get hold of the butt section of one of your rods, grip it tight, and then try to go slow and smooth. It's tough. If you're gripping it tight, you can't go slow and smooth. You're coming up in jerks like that. So instead, just cradle the rod. Now see how slowly you can go and very, very smoothly. And not only that, now you're feeling the load on the rod. When you do your lift and your sweep, if you don't close your hand on the rod, you will feel every little nuance as you're coming up of that rod loading. You will feel the line, you'll feel the fly clear the water, you'll feel a lot of things when you have your hand open. When you've got a death grip on the rod, or even a moderate grip, you're not going to feel it. Because what you're feeling is the cork. Okay? You're not feeling much else. So that open grip allows you to feel and be very smooth, and you can manage the tension you're putting on. So, for example, I'll be showing a way to lift full sinking lines and sink tips. Part of that is the open grip, because I can feel the tension on the rod from the sinking line as I'm lifting. So as a consequence, I can get a very accurate lift and sweep, one with finesse, some with a nuance, if you will, just simply because my hand is open. It does so many good things for us when we learn to cast with a relaxed grip, because you don't need to squeeze the cork. I mean, the poor thing doesn't owe you money, all right? So you don't have to squeeze it to death. You'll have a much more relaxed, smoother and you'll feel what's going on. And often when I go back, my hand is still like this. I've just pulled, and I'm into the back cast, and you'll see my fingers are still up in the air a little bit. I haven't really gone down like this yet. Or if I do, I go down, the pinky is not really touching. So just come forward, nice and lightly and smoothly. You can be very smooth, very slow. I mean, it's a joke in instructor circles is that we want a speaker on the bank of the river just booming out, slow down, slow down, slow down. Well, one of the easiest ways to slow down is don't death grip. Keep a light grip. You'll automatically slow down. It is the act of squeezing the rod that, in a way, makes us hurry up. It's kind of psychological. If you've got a tight grip on something, it implies that you've got to, really hang on to it, use some strength, use some force, and we don't want you to do that. We want you to go nice and slow and be relaxed. And the other thing is, once you grip, all these muscles from your neck all the way down your arm, they're all tight. So when they're tight, you cannot be smooth. So you have to be relaxed. And if you watch great golfers, they're so relaxed when they make their swing. You know, you look at any athlete, it's the idea of being very relaxed. Top drawer singers, they're very relaxed. All the muscles in their throat are very relaxed. They sing in a very relaxed fashion. The jaw is relaxed. As soon as you tighten up and squeeze, things go wrong. So it's true for Spey casting as it is for anything else. Learn to cast with an open grip. And here's the way you practice. When you go out the next time on the water and you make a lift, deliberately open your hand. And see if you can make a cast, basically hanging on with just your thumb and forefinger to the rod, and leave the rest of your hand open. So you're just using thumb and forefingers to grip the rod. It's a great way to learn to relax your hands, because you can't really squeeze with just your thumb and forefingers. You can't really get that good a grip. And you'll learn by doing that is to just use the force you're putting on the rod and gravity to keep the handle in position. You don't really have to grip. You can just sit there with the handle, trapped between your thumb and forefinger in the V of your fingers like that, and you can actually make a cast. It's good practice for relaxing. I'm not saying you have to knock off 90 footers doing that. Just casting the head of the line is good enough. But the idea is you learn to have your hands completely relaxed. You become much smoother in your casting, much slower. And you avoid things like this. I've seen literally this kind of funky chicken cast out of some people where it's almost a figure eight style in their D-loops. And it was caused by herky-jerky motions because they were death gripping the rod. So there's lots of, problems that disappear as soon as you stop trying to choke the poor rod to death. So keep that in mind. Cheers.